heart of the yoga teachings, we always seem to return to this concept of oneness. The center place, where we are all met as equals in the worthiness of love, because in the marrow of it all, we are love unfolding. And true to the nature that gives us life, our duality in death allows us to appreciate the something from nothing. Diversity in embodiment is the practice of oneness, a practice of embracing all beings, whether they grow roots or breathe underwater, whether they speak a different language or rest in a web. We are all essential to the sacred balance of yin and yang, light and dark, inhaling and exhaling. The more time I spend wandering on the road, watching different landscapes go by and interacting with different communities, be it in nature or cities, I notice the places that thrive the most are wholly empowered by their diversity. Like the wise teaching of the wild woods, the most thriving ecosystems are rich in the plenty of variety. They hold space for their artists and nurses alike. There is room for the shaman and transgender both, the devout Christian and the atheist too. They care about locally sourced food and farming. They have a colorful arrangement of parks and people, of cuisines and curriculums. They clean the beaches and get rid of plastic bags and straws, and they support their homeless and raise money for a range of causes. They live as a community of unique interests and reverent passions, yet they all feel equally comforted when sick, heard when sad, and held when they fall. They stand united for their clean rivers and invested in community gardens for all. There is a movement of awareness that the more we take care of each other and the planet, the more the individual thrives as an essential expression of the whole. But there are still lots of ways in which we are contributing to the lie of greed and alone. The school systems based in limited viewpoints and inflexible learning approaches weed out creativity and collaboration in order to set the standard to fit the top of the bell curve. The hospitals and doctors look at the body in parts like a machine and treat symptoms, rearing a more diseased, depressed culture of broken and drugged. The monocrop farms destroy and deplete the soils, fabricating devastating illnesses for the plants and insects, which in turn are sprayed and genetically modified to brazenly defy the laws of nature. The rigid religions that breed one way of thinking and being affect a horrific domino of racism, sexism, war, and genocide. The notion that the plants, oceans, and animals are here to serve us as if we're more worthy, higher ranking, or more important than them is why the deforestation is causing drought with less clean air to breathe. And the waters we contaminate poison our own bodies to develop serious cancers that plague the homes of every family. The mass murder of tortured animals agonizes our plates and fills our bellies with unconscious guilt of an ignorance we cling to in reward for best in show. As Gandhi professes, I believe we are this change, and that by the embodiment of our own diversity, we empower feats in innovation and forgiveness for our reign of discrimination. We smile at each other in our expression of harmony and reach a helping hand when a fellow stumbles behind. In our daily practice, the movements are ever changing and rearranging. The intonation of shapes and transitions are as assorted as there are different voices to sing or howl or squawk. It's not ever the right poses or the wrong alignment, but rather the right poses for you in that moment, and the realization of what we are aligning with and for. It is the collaboration of the body's muscles making the work effortless, like a community coming together to protect the forest that we breathe. Repetitive strain and overuse only occurs when we do the same patterns of movement and mindsets over and over and over, attached to one way of experience and expression. When the truth is not in the perfection, but instead in the excitement of exploring outside the gray confines of a treadmill pointed at a cement wall, and into a luscious, vibrant forest of trails abundant with ups and downs and terrains unpredictably divergent. From the frolics of our childhood playtime, to the fidgets from sitting endlessly at our desks restrained, or the falls from that one time we felt ashamed, to the games turned competitive and overtrained, we are the diversity of our experience embodied, our movement, the history we won't forget, and a mystery we strive to uncover. What yoga has shown me is we can change our patterns and reframe our matters of what we give a fuck about. And it definitely isn't how many of my poses look better than yours. Remember, after all, we are all one.